3 reasons mindfulness helps you grow as a person. Everyone is familiar with the physical cycle of life. You are born, grow, and eventually die. During the growth stage, you grow mentally and emotionally, not just physically. Mindfulness is one of the best ways to help you in all parts of the growth phase. Here are 3 specific reasons that mindfulness helps you grow as a person. 1. Makes you a better learner. Many people assume that learning is done in a classroom when you're young. Although this is a form of learning, we as humans are designed to learn throughout our entire lives. From the time we are 2 years old until the day we die, we are constantly learning about our world, ourselves, and those around us. To get the most out of life, we must enhance our learning abilities. By doing so, we can have better careers, more fulfilling professional lives, and better understand our loved ones and the world in general. Many people assume that learning capabilities are something you're born with. This is not true. There are things you can do to make you a better learner. Studies show that mindfulness increases the density of gray matter in the brain regions associated with learning, memory, and focus. As a result, it allows you to better focus on topics, comprehend the material, and recall it at a later date, thereby making you a better learner. 2. Increases compassion. As humans, we are naturally driven to care for those we love as well as other humans in general. One sign of immaturity is the lack of compassion and empathy for other people. As we get older, our compassion often increases since we learn that life is not as straightforward as it once appeared in our youth. For this reason, increasing compassion is a way to help you grow. Luckily, mindfulness is one way that you can actively increase your compassion and altruism. Studies show that mindfulness increases activity in the brain regions associated with compassion and emotion regulation. As you become more compassionate and able to regulate your emotions, you can help those around you better. This allows you to grow into a human being that is more helpful for society. More so, studies also suggest that mindfulness increases self-compassion. Self-compassion is important for factors such as resilience and satisfaction with life. The more self-compassionate you are, the more you are able to grow, learn from your mistakes, and enjoy your life. 3. Increases resilience. Resilience is one's ability to bounce back from tough and difficult situations. This is something that is not easy by nature. To grow into the best version of yourself, you must learn how to become resilient. Mindfulness increases your resilience because it increases self-compassion and promotes optimistic thinking. As you become more self-compassionate, you're able to give yourself a break and understand that you're only human. As a result, you're gentler with yourself, allowing you to overcome adverse situations more easily. Similarly, optimistic thinking allows you to not be bogged down by negative thoughts and feelings about your life and self. As you become more optimistic, you'll become more resilient to any challenge that you might face. Final thoughts. In conclusion, growth is a necessary but difficult aspect of life. Mindfulness is a great way to grow your mental and emotional abilities since it makes you a better learner, increases compassion, and increases resilience. As a result, the more mindful you are, the more you will grow into the person you are supposed to be. Three ways to be mindful during a chaotic day at work. Work can be one of the most stressful parts of a person's life, and chaotic days at work are even worse. To both be productive at work and enjoy your life, it is important to learn how to be mindful amidst the work chaos. Here are 3 ways to be mindful during a chaotic day at work. 1. Use your breaks wisely. Although it can be tempting to pull out your phone and mindlessly scroll through social media, one of the best ways to be mindful at work is to use your breaks wisely and intentionally. Try to use your break time to recharge and reset physically, mentally, and emotionally. For example, try meditative breathing or journaling in general to try to be mindful during your work break. If none of those ideas work for you, then simply find a way to recharge your batteries while still being present in the moment. If you use your work break more wisely, you will be more energized and level-headed when you get back to work. As a result, you will be able to be more productive, handle your projects better, and connect with your coworkers. 2. Learn how to say no. At work, it can be tempting to agree to nearly every project that gets placed on your desk. Obviously, you want to do your best and put your best foot forward for getting a bonus or promotion. However, saying yes to all tasks is not always in your or your company's best interest. Whenever you feel overwhelmed or overworked, you need to learn how to say no. If you agree to all projects, especially when you feel overwhelmed, both you and the work will suffer, which is not the best strategy for being an efficient and functional worker. When you say no to a project, make sure you remain professional and respectful. Simply explain that you have too much work on your plate already. Ask if someone else can handle the job, or ask if you can accomplish the task at a later date. Chances are, expressing your stress and inability to properly perform the function will be the better option in the long run. 3. Be a single tasker. Everyone likes to think of themselves as a multitasker, which is when you try to do 2 or more tasks at the same time or switching back and forth between them. Even if you think you are a great multitasker, our brains are best at operating on one task at a time. For this reason, it is wise to be a single tasker, meaning someone who focuses on one task at a time at work. When you focus all your efforts on one project or task, your mind is able to fully process and comprehend the challenges in front of you. As a result, you perform better, are more productive, and feel more connected with the work. To become a single tasker, try to keep a time journal because it can become difficult to know when you're multitasking. In your journal, write down exactly what you achieved in a certain block of time. This will tell you when you are single tasking or multitasking. Adjust your habits accordingly. Final thoughts. To recap, work can be extremely stressful, making it important to be mindful throughout the day. Using your breaks wisely, learning when to say no, and becoming a single tasker are the best ways for becoming mindful at work. Five reasons you should practice mindfulness today. As more people are becoming aware of the importance of mental health, mindfulness is becoming an increasingly popular topic, and for good reason. Mindfulness positively impacts the mind, body, and soul dramatically, allowing you to be happier and healthier. Let's look at 5 specific reasons why you should practice mindfulness today. 1. Benefits your mind. Whether you are in school or retirement, it is important to keep your mind in tip-top shape. If not, you'll not feel or perform as efficiently as you could. This could negatively impact your career, hobbies, or relationships with other people. Mindfulness has wonderful benefits for your mind. Studies have found that mindfulness increases the density of gray matter in brain regions associated with learning and memory. What this means is that mindfulness makes you a better learner. 2. Increases focus. Focus is an incredibly integral aspect of our minds. It affects all aspects of life, from driving your car to getting coffee with a friend. If we cannot focus, then we will have trouble learning, improving our skills, or connecting with those around us. Luckily, mindfulness increases focus. Several studies have found that mindfulness helps you tune out distractions. As a result, this improves your attention skills, which then allows you to learn and recall information better. 3. Benefits the body. In addition to improving your mind, mindfulness greatly benefits the body. From boosting your immune system to reducing the risk of cardiovascular disease, mindfulness is one of the best ways, besides regular exercise and eating healthy, to improve your physical health and fitness. Research has found that mindfulness boosts the immune system, making it easier for your body to fight off illness. Additionally, studies have found that mindfulness also encourages healthier eating habits, helps people lose weight, and helps them savor the food they eat. As a result, mindfulness helps to prevent against obesity. 4. Regulates emotions and improves mental illness. Emotions and mental illness are difficult topics to improve and regulate simply because they are more difficult to detect and diagnose. Mindfulness is a simple way to both regulate emotions and improve the effects of mental illness. Countless of studies have shown that mindfulness decreases emotional reactivity and increases cognitive focus. This will allow you to better regulate your emotions since you have fewer negative ones to start with. Additionally, mindfulness has been thought to help with the effects of mental illness. For example, there have been studies that show mindfulness to reduce the symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, in veterans. An important note to make about this is that mindfulness will not cure the mental illness, but it will help you better cope with it. 5. Fosters compassion. Compassion and altruism are two characteristics that most people strive to have. They allow us to connect with other people and help those in need. Though some people seem to be more compassionate than others, there are ways to increase your compassion, such as through mindfulness. Research suggests that mindfulness increases activity in the regions of the brain associated with compassion and emotion regulation. As a result, it improves your compassion for others, making it more likely that you will help someone in need, as well as boost self-compassion. Final thoughts. To recap, everyone wants to be the best version of themselves, and mindfulness is one of the best ways to accomplish this. It will allow you to have a healthier mind, a healthier body, and a more giving spirit. For these reasons, you should start mindfulness today. How mindfulness improves your mind. What makes humans different from other animals is our ability to think, comprehend, and analyze situations in the past, present, and future. If our mind doesn't function properly, then we and those around us suffer. To ensure our health, it is imperative for us to focus on our minds and improve their abilities when possible. Mindfulness is one of the best ways to do just that. Here are the top 3 ways that mindfulness improves your mind. 1. Regulates emotions, self-perception, and attention. Studies show that mindfulness affects the anterior cingulate cortex, or the ACC. The ACC is the part of the brain associated with self-perception, attention, emotions, and problem-solving. In other words, this part of the brain is imperative for understanding ourselves, feelings, and situations we may find ourselves in. When the ACC does not work properly, you can easily become overwhelmed and unclear about your own emotions, as well as have a short attention span and poorly problem-solve your way out of difficult situations. Mindfulness affects the ACC in a way that helps you have a more realistic understanding of yourself, lengthen your attention span, and regulate your emotions. As a result, mindfulness helps us to operate better within the world, as opposed to getting stuck on fixed views of ourselves and situations. This will then make us more resilient throughout our life. 2. Improves memory. Additionally, studies show that mindfulness affects the hippocampus. The hippocampus is part of the brain that is responsible for making new memories. If your hippocampus does not work properly, then you will be focused on memories of the past as opposed to living in the present and making new memories. In fact, studies find that patients with post-traumatic stress disorder and severe depression have a smaller hippocampus. This can explain why patients with these illnesses have a harder time distancing themselves from difficult and challenging situations from the past as opposed to living in the present. Mindfulness, however, increases the gray matter within the hippocampus. With more gray matter comes a more functional hippocampus. As a result, mindfulness improves your ability to make new memories and live in the present. 3. Helps connect the right and left hemispheres of the brain. The third area of the brain affected by mindfulness is the corpus callosum. This region of the brain is responsible for connecting the right and left hemispheres together. The right hemisphere is associated with emotion and nonverbal processing, while the left hemisphere is involved with linear and logical thinking, as well as verbal processing. Additionally, scientists believe that the left hemisphere is the center for positive emotion, whereas the right hemisphere is the center for negative emotion. But this idea is more contested. If a corpus callosum is thicker, then scientists believe that the person has better connectivity and is more able to connect events and emotions in a logical way. Since mindfulness increases the thickness of the corpus callosum, it allows the person to better understand how their feelings and emotions relate to real-life events, as well as make more realistic reactions to whatever situation is at hand. Final thoughts. To recap, mindfulness benefits the mind greatly since it helps regulate emotions, self-perception, and attention, as well as improves memory and connects the right and left hemispheres together. In addition to benefiting the mind, mindfulness also has great benefits for the physical body, making mindfulness practices one of the best things you can do for your overall health and well-being. Have you ever met anyone who seems to be naturally mindful and wanted to be more like them? Chances are that person is not naturally mindful and probably worked hard to be more resilient and live in the moment. This means that you can also become more mindful with effort and patience. To become mindful, however, you need to know the proper steps and tools for mindfulness training. If you want to become more mindful, here are 3 steps to becoming mindful like a pro. 1. Be honest and patient with yourself. If you want to become more mindful, it is important to be honest and patient with yourself from the beginning. Being mindful does not come naturally to anyone, and you are no different. Recognize that becoming mindful will take a lot of work and that you will mess up. Additionally, be honest with yourself about your current mindfulness habits or practices. Do not sugarcoat your current mental state or sell yourself short. Instead, be honest about your realities, as well as what you want out of mindfulness training. From there, be patient. It will take time to reach your goals, and you will mess up. Do not view yourself as lesser than or incompetent just because you struggle. 2. Set realistic goals. Many people assume that being mindful will lead to a state of bliss. Although mindfulness will make life more enjoyable, bliss should not be the end goal of mindfulness. If you set an unrealistic expectation such as bliss for your mindfulness training, then you will be let down by the results and eventually give up. Instead, set realistic goals that reflect your current abilities and what you want to see out of your life. For example, if you have ever practiced mindfulness before, then this will be a new task and challenge for you. As a result, set your goals in small, attainable increments. Many people practice mindfulness to improve their lives. What exactly improving your life means to you will be different from what it means to the person next to you. Because of this, set realistic goals that are deeply connected to your abilities and goals, not anyone else's. 3. Be mindful, even when you don't feel like it. Once you are honest with yourself and set realistic goals, you need to practice being mindful even when you don't feel like it. In the beginning, trying to be mindful will be new and exciting, which will be motivation to work. As the newness wears off, however, it can be easy to let your feelings overshadow your mindfulness training. Regardless of how you feel, be mindful. In fact, the times when you don't feel like being mindful are the times that you need it the most. For this reason, be mindful and stick to your goals. With this in mind, make a commitment to your mindfulness goals. Work through your feelings, tiredness, or annoyance with your training and press forward. If you are able to do mindfulness training during those times, then you have already come a long way. Final thoughts. To recap, anyone, including you, can be mindful like a pro as long as they're honest and patient with themselves, set realistic goals, and commit themselves to mindfulness training. Though each of these steps will take a lot of hard work and personal clarity, it will be worth it in the end, since mindfulness will improve various aspects of your life.